There is now a civil suit, to my understanding, against Donald Trump and his family. The New York Attorney General, Letitia James, did a press conference yesterday. I'm going to be reading the Twitter thread version of it because this is a little bit easier for me to digest at this moment. But basically, if you go watch the press conference, she just laid out all the crimes that the Trump family has committed in pretty decent detail, and then ended off with, and this is just the beginning, which is great, and then basically said that she is hoping that she can just destroy the Trump corporations. It's seeming that she's going for barring any of the Trumpers from doing business in New York for at least 5 years. That's the goal, as well as dismantling the corporations, which is good. That's great. Finally, fucking Donald Trump, after decades of rule breaking and law breaking, someone is like, oh shit, this guy's been stealing billions of dollars from the government for years. Should we do something? And then finally this bitch is like, okay, I shouldn't call her this bitch. I would say that with all due respect. And so that's great. I mean, this is like, again, Letitia James, again, like being the first one, because it's always about the first one that do something like this, right? It's always about like, you get the ball rolling, and then other people will feel more comfortable going after them in other areas, which there needs to be criminal charges. Donald Trump needs to go to jail. That's the ultimate goal here. But this is a great start. Our suit against Donald Trump and the Trump org alleges a years-long financial fraud scheme. Here's how Trump generated false and misleading values on his annual financial statements, which were then used to pay lower taxes, guarantee loans, and get better insurance rates. Using objectively false numbers to calculate property values. For example, Trump's apartment in Trump Tower is 10,996 square feet. Yet he said it was 30,000 square feet to value it at $327 million. A New York City apartment had never sold for that much. So he just 3x. Oh yeah, I got 30,000 square feet. Really? Can I see it? Nope. Oh, okay. Ignoring legal restrictions on properties. At Trump Park Avenue, he valued 12 rent-stabilized units at market rate, inflating the value by 65 times. At Mar-a-Lago, he ignored development restrictions to claim the property was worth $739 million. Its value is about $75 million. That one is crazy. So the real value, 75. Donald Trump's value, 10x, 739. That's 10 times. That's like 9.8 times. This motherfucker's just like, whatever. 75 million, 750 million, 7 billion. What's the difference? Using schemes to increase the values of his golf clubs. One such scheme was to add an inflated 15 to 30% Trump brand premium, but then claim that a brand premium was not included on his financial statements. Oh, well, isn't that interesting? Claiming he had cash available to him that he did not. For several years, Trump reported money in a partnership as liquid cash. In truth, he was a minority owner with no control of the money. Using fraudulent values to inflate net worth and gain benefits. Oh, inflating net worth. Interesting. Trump's annual financial statements included fraudulent values and were used for his own financial gain. For example, he saved about $150 million by receiving favorable interest rates based on the statement. So, again, you lie about your net worth, you go to a bank, and they're like, oh, okay, Mr. Trump, they give you about a bunch of money that you don't have to pay income tax on, right? So you pay taxes at a lower rate to get all this money, and then you can use it to buy another building. And again, it's just like you just keep going. You just keep going until someone stops you. And in Donald Trump's case, no one stopped him. He just kept going, and then he became president. Like, if someone would have put the foot down 10 years ago, 20 years ago, 30 years ago, they all knew he was breaking the law the whole time. But if someone would have done something about it, we wouldn't have had to deal with this garbage for the last couple of years, right? So, think about that shit. Actions have consequences, along with referring the criminal violations we uncovered to the U.S. Department of Justice. My office is seeking to ban Donald Trump Jr., Jr., Ivanka, and Eric from serving as officer or director in any New York business. Ban Trump and the Trump org from acquiring real estate in New York for 5 years. Force Trump to pay $250 million in profits made from this fraud. Now, again, does Trump have $250 million? Install a monitor to oversee the Trump org's financial dealings for at least 10 years. Bar Trump and the Trump org from applying for loans from any financial institution chartered in New York for 5 years. As Attorney General of New York, I made a promise to ensure the rule of law applies equally to everyone, even a former president. No one is above the law. So it's about goddamn fucking time. Now, the thing I should say is it is very clear that there are people above the law, Donald Trump being one of them. But if the tides are turning on this, I'm all in. So again, Donald Trump, is this the first domino to fall? Or is he going to get out of this? We'll find out on the next episode of Wheel of the Orange Man. Take any accountability for his actions.